Peace and blessings, y'all. Peace and blessings, and happy Friday to you once again. Wanted to, bless you, jeez, my nose started itching. Excuse me. Wanted to drop in and have a moment of, I want to call it story time, but it might not qualify as story time. But then again, it might. I don't know. Anyway, I posted a picture earlier today, and I posted a picture of myself in what I would call, I guess you could say, it's not an evening gown, but it's kind of like a semi-formal, formal cocktail type of dress, something dressy. And I was a fan of that picture. I personally was a fan of that picture. Shout out to my son, who is my cameraman. God bless him. But anyhow, I wanted to talk about stepping into the new. Now, when I was in school, when I was in like middle school, well, more so high school, that's when a lot of pictures were being taken. I wasn't the one running to the camera to get in the picture. I was included in pictures, of course, whatever. But a lot of those pictures I did not get, and I'm not tripping on that. That's not what this is about. But I wasn't the one to do pictures, you know what I'm saying? And definitely not pictures of myself. I got into modeling and learning learning about acting and performing and things of that nature by way of someone else who ended up sending my information to a particular agency that was here at the time that did that type of training and whatnot. And I loved the time that I was there, because I didn't think that an agency like that would even accept somebody like me, given the way that I looked and what I had a preconceived idea about the agency and their criteria and whatever the case may be. I just thought it was a certain look that was nothing like mine. And I just ended up learning a lot. And anyhow, afterwards, though it was a bit different for me, I began to push myself to become more bold and getting in front of the camera and doing things of that nature. And I had to do a lot of the stuff myself, because that's who I was with, outside of my children, because of course I was a mother at this time. So I really didn't do a lot of outside things other than that, you know what I'm saying? And so anyhow, fast forward, I get into fitness, and my body is beginning to do things that I never really thought that it would do, especially at my age. And I became very intrigued with how the body changes with literally how you change your eating habits and repetition and working out. And so I was very proud of myself, because at the age of 35 years old, I was in better condition than I was in high school. You know what I'm saying? And so I got off into just doing some, I guess you could say, modeling and whatever, sporadic. I call it sporadic because it wasn't anything consistent, because I'm here in Oklahoma and I just didn't know. I didn't know I was still learning the game, and nobody was trying to really give me game. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool. I ain't tripping. But I was learning to do some things on my own, learning to take pictures on my own, learning to use video and turn those into, stills, like pictures, and learning how to give different facial expressions and things of that sort and whatever. And I always have loved to write. And so I would put, an inspirational quote or whatever the case may be with it. And so that just became my thing. You know what I'm saying? And have always been, well, ever since I was a little girl, I have always been, in my eyes, saved. You know, I was saved. I gave my life to Christ, but I wasn't always just running with him like, you know, I'm supposed to. And so, of course, I did some inspirational stuff, and I talked about God too, but I talked about a lot of other things more than what I talked about God. Fitness was one of them. I talked about fitness all the time. I talked about music all the time. It was just a lot of stuff that I always talked about, more so than God. And I was always like, well, shoot, people know I'm saved. You know, they know I know who God is, and he is who he is in my life. And because I felt that way, I felt like I didn't need to really overdo it in talking about him. And so I got to really thinking about that in the now, because I was so bold about doing that back then. I was so bold with posting pictures all the time. I didn't care. Did not care. And dared somebody to come for me. You know what I'm saying? That's just the kind of attitude I had, because I was very cool. I was cool with everybody. It was just like, you know. But I was very bold. And I had to think about, you know, even today, like it took a lot for me to even post that picture. And it's been like that lately. Like it's been one of those things, like I'm worried about what somebody else is going to think. Like I'm feeling like I was going to have to explain myself. And it's just like, you ain't got to explain yourself to nobody, because you know what it is. You know what God has not only graced you to do, but you know the calling that he has for you. And don't nobody need to understand that but you. And I ain't Jeremiah, but I'm in that space. Like, you do what I've said to do and not worry about anybody else, because I got you. Thus saith the Lord. Hello, somebody. And it made me think, like, I have to begin to release that timidity even the more, because that's what I tell people. That's what I preach about. Like, don't be timid. Don't be scared. Be bold. Be courageous. Be uniquely you, because that's the art of you. Authentically, resiliently, transparently, that's you. And it's like, Brandy, you got to tell yourself that too. Because, you know, your ministry, so to speak, is very different. And your experiences, all of them, have led you to this point, and you run long enough. So it's like you have to use all of that to step into what God is gracing you to do. And I'm talking to me, but I'm talking to you too. If you've ever felt timid, or if you've been feeling timid about something that God has called you to do because you're concerned about another person's or other people's opinion with how you do it or how God is gracing you to do it, let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Because however it is that he is gracing you to be able to do it, he called you to do it in that way. It's going to be the draw in of others through what he is gracing you to do. Now, if he asks or tell you to change it up midpoint, then you do that. But what he is gracing you to do, you do that, and you do it boldly. So I'm talking to me, but I'm talking to you and saying, whatever it is, move boldly. Because I know what I'm what I'm stepping into. I have to be ready for what's coming, but I know he got me. He got me wholeheartedly. That's why I'm running with him wholeheartedly. You heard. But y'all have an awesome rest of your Friday. I wanted to touch on that. Yeah. Blessed God. But have an awesome Friday, and I'll catch you in the next one. Oh, bye.